Well, every year in February, the chamber organizes what they call a chamber fly-in to Washington, D.C. And it's an opportunity for the city to present our goals and our priorities to our legislators in Washington, D.C. And that trip it includes the city, the county, the chamber, our labor unions, our hospitals, our health folks, you name it. Anyone that has an interest. Our school board has members on that group.
I think unions too, you said?
The unions also. And we go in with a common vision. We've got a common set of goals. If someone brings up transportation to somebody on the school board, they'll say, our top priority is the Southwest Arterial. So they get the same answer from somebody at Mercy Health Center or the county or the city. All of the goals and the priorities that we set as a city, that is what we talk about when we go to Washington. And we get commended for that by not only our legislators, but others that we have the opportunity to talk to, because they know when Dubuque comes to town, they're not going to hear a lot of different stories. You know, this is my priority, this is mine. It's a set of priorities that if they can help us in any way, they're affecting a big cross-section of the community.
Coming back again to the city manager and the type of person he is, and I presume that you are a big cheerleader for him.
Well, I am. You know, he's a very ethical, very hardworking individual that is really connected in the community. I can't think of anybody that's more connected than Mike and his wife, Nancy. And you know, she directs the Community Foundation of Greater Dubuque. His wife, Nancy Van Milligan. You know, they're involved in all kinds of charity work. You see them out in the community at almost every event I'm at. You'll see one or both of them. You know, they have children in their home from their foster daughter, you know, that they're raising with her. Just a tremendous person. And extremely ethical, and that's so important in that position.
In talking to you earlier, you talked about Cedar Rapids. You made a comment regarding Cedar Rapids.
Well, Cedar Rapids had a different form of government. They just went to a council manager form of government 5 or 6 years ago. They used to have a strong mayor, and I don't know if it was commissioners or what the term was they called them, but someone over streets, someone over parks, you know, and they were having a lot of difficulties. The city seemed to be going backwards instead of forward. Cedar Rapids used to be that shining star in the state of Iowa, and you know, they had some different issues that they were dealing with, and the population just, you know, looked at the form of government and how it was working and how it related to people, and they decided they needed to make a change. And you know, that the transition, you know, was a little difficult at first, you know, until the new council members and mayor got their footing. But I think it's really starting to work now, and I think the future is really bright for Cedar Rapids because the people and the government are connected. One byline I had, I remember on my first campaign when I ran for city council, it was connecting citizens or engaging citizens as partners. And I believe that to this day, and I use that to this day. You know, if you're going to get anything done of any value in your community, you have to have the citizenry at the table helping you make the decision. And you do that by developing a city commission or a task force. Our sustainability efforts are a great example. We made it a top priority of the city council in 2006, right after I was elected mayor. And we immediately turned it over to a citizen task force that we appointed of 40, I believe it was 40 people from across the city of different backgrounds. And we gave them the charge of bringing us what sustainability meant to the citizens of Dubuque and how we were going to achieve that goal. And they came back with a definition of sustainability, the three-legged stool that we use: economic prosperity, environmental integrity, and social and cultural vibrancy. That's what it's focused on. And then they brought the 11 principles that we follow as a guideline in the community across all aspects of our government and our citizen organizations to reach sustainability and make sustainability sustainable for future generations. And that's where the smarter city is really going to make an impact, because it's going to give people real-time information on energy and resource use so that you can make a conscious decision to not only save yourself money on water usage or electricity usage or vehicle miles traveled, but you're going to also save resources for future generations. This was developed by our citizens because we brought them to the table. You know, the more minds you can get working on a problem, the better solution you're going to find in the end.
And for the most part, the ideas that those citizens and even council members and yourself bring to the city manager, it's up to him to get it done then. Is that correct?
It is. See, we set the policy, and then everything that he has, you know, of a major nature, you know, are we going to change the city fleet over to gas engines, natural gas engines over diesel or whatever. Something like that would come to the city council. We'd say that's a great use of funds, public funds. It's going to save us money, more stability on price, and it's going to help with our air quality. You know, those kinds of decisions he'll bring to us. You know, the smaller monetary decisions he'll make on his own, just, you know, so it's a faster process. But the city council, any major expenditures, that comes back to the council for approval. And you know, we've been very fortunate. I can't think of too many projects. I can't think really of any significance that city manager hasn't done his due diligence on and gotten all the background and kept the council informed throughout the process. So by the time it gets to the council table, it's usually a pretty good product that, you know, after some discussion, it's usually approved. When possible, there's always options. Our water pollution control plant that we're just beginning the new one, a $64 million project, biggest capital improvement project in the history of the city. That was a process that took almost 2 years. You know, doing the research, you know, what would be the best possible facility to build, because it's a 40-year facility, and one that will, you know, not only help the environment and be sustainable, but is also the most cost-effective solution for citizens. And we came up with the anaerobic digestion, and we're looking at things now like taking that methane gas that's produced and actually creating power from that, either by burning it there to co-generate electricity, or you know, compressing it, using it in gas-powered vehicles. We're using natural gas vehicles. We're also doing the same thing at our landfill, looking at capturing the methane, you know, and doing things like compressing it, taking it to a distribution center where city vehicles can all fuel up, you know, fuel from waste, garbage. Yeah, it's amazing what's out there. And when you get people working together, how many of these things you can make happen. IBM.
Yeah. And what impressed them the most, do you think, besides some of the things you've already mentioned?
Well, I can tell you, when Michael Daniels was here for the big announcement, January 15th of 2000, wow, was that 2008? I believe it was. He mentioned that our strong public-private partnerships, our sustainability initiative, which mirrored kind of what IBM was doing with their Smarter Planet initiative, and the institutions of higher learning, which would provide the pipeline for the employees that they needed to have. You know, they put 1,300 employees here, you know, and there's some turnover, so you've got to keep that pipeline going. And you know, but I think that when you look at it, I think the biggest of those, well, it's hard to separate sustainability and our public-private partnerships, but all of those were, everything is possible because of the partnerships. I mean, our sustainability program would be nowhere near as robust as it is without the public and private partnerships that we've had. When that was officially approved by the city council, when they brought back their recommendations, I mean, there were people all over the city stepping up. You know, what can I do? What can we do? What can my organization do? City staff was, you know, it was like the old horses, takes off, you know, and you're trying to keep the bit in their mouth. That's how they were. And it's because there was such a broad base of support, citizen support, that created that program. You know, the most celebrated form of public input is the grassroots effort. You know, and that's how things are done that are sustainable in the community, by getting the citizens involved, making it their idea, and you've got immediate buy-in.